I'm Kendrick S, administrator with the State Department, and I'm going to tell you a story about when I was administrator with a different State Department. I made a decision to change supervision of one of the lead workers in one of the offices that I had oversight over. Now, this was done to make sure that we were compliant with a division mandate. It was pretty routine, so I thought that it would really go by without a hitch, and that thought was completely wrong. She was very upset. She basically accused me of having an ulterior motive. Now, I'm typically pretty good, or at least I thought. I was pretty good at knowing my triggers and communicating pretty effectively. None of that happened in this situation. I became immediately defensive. The conversation was really going nowhere. It kind of hit a brick wall. The next day I came back, I wanted to touch bases with her to figure out if we can move beyond that first day and really talk about what were some of the processes that I went through to make the decision. This second meeting went worse than the first one did. She told me that she sought legal advice and was considering legal action, which then triggered me to react even more defensively. I knew that things were going downhill quickly. If I didn't do something fast, this situation would go from bad to worse. A third meeting was scheduled, and this meeting would actually have union representation. I really had no belief that this meeting would go any better than the first two had. It's in hindsight good that the meeting was scheduled in advance because it gave me an opportunity to really look at my emotions and what it was that I was doing. I had to be honest with myself and acknowledge that I was telling myself a pretty strong villain story about her. And the fact that she, was being completely irrational when it comes to this decision, the fact that this was something that was really basic, and now I'm the one who's being vilified. I saw myself as a victim. I really had to acknowledge the fact that she had every right to react the way that she did. If I was in her shoes, I would have done the same thing, because in my defensiveness, I never really explained to her why I made the decision, what was behind it, what the processes were, nothing. So I think that in doing that, I set the situation up to where this next meeting would hopefully go better than the first two had. So the day of the meeting came, I initially explained to her that the decision that I made was, number one, not personal, and I had no intentions to hurt her. I let her know what it was that I actually went through as far as a process, what the steps were that I took, why it was that I chose her, because that's one of the main questions that she asked is, why me? We were actually able to have a conversation, free of my assumptions, free of her assumptions, free of the stories that we were telling each other about the other person's emotions and assumptions. We really felt like, at least to me, there was a breakthrough. We were able to talk honestly about how we felt and what we thought were the best next steps to take. She actually, in the end, ended up being changed as far as her supervisor. And she performed her duties with professionalism, and even more so actually. At the time, we were going through a pretty major restructuring of service delivery, and she was the main person who helped to rally the troops, if you will, and get everyone behind this new change that we were making. It was very difficult, but this crucial conversation that we had was totally worth it.